What's up? So, we're going to be talking about what it's like 2.5 years on HRT. So, HRT, I'm sure you all know, hormone replacement therapy. And a lot of us trans women use HRT to feminize our bodies because, yeah, you either got testosterone or you got fucking estrogen in your body. And, as a trans woman, you know, gotta swap that T for some E, mate. But anyway, what have I had in 2.5 years on HRT? I think it's actually a bit over 2.5 years. So first thing I really started to notice, like, I started to notice some, changes in the nipple until it started to become a tit and all that. As well as, I noticed, like, if you got T running through your body, you'll get a bit more muscles here. You know what I mean? And when you take the T blockers, it'll completely just, make them muscles just go away. And your arms become a bit flaccid. But they're the really early effects, and from what I've noticed, the effects, I've only really noticed effects in the first, 2 years of hormone replacement therapy. But then saying that, yeah, kind of, for a few months, like, before now, I wasn't really looking after myself. So, yeah, I went really skinny and shit. And, yeah, I was a bit of a wreck. So, I didn't really pay attention to my body. So, maybe there may have been changes that I haven't even noticed from the HRT. But, yeah, I've only really noticed changes in the first, 2 years. So, what I've explained so far, that's within the first year. Also, your muscle mass starts to go away. I really noticed that in the first, maybe, yeah, within the first 2 years, your muscle mass starts to really go away. You start to lose a lot of muscle mass as well as you're growing tits. The tits grow a bit gradually. Like, there was a point where my tits were really, poking out a bit. But, to be honest, the change that I'm most happy about is tit growth, as well as, getting rid of masculine features and all that. As well as a bit of hip bone growth, but we'll get to that a bit later on. But we'll talk about the tits now. So, as I was starting HRT, I slowly started to gradually notice changes, in my chest, and eventually I start budding and spurting out, and I'm like, woohoo! And yeah, I started wearing, some pretty nice crop tops, and I started wearing bras around, without any clothes. Future video, I should actually do a video talking about how to style yourself with bras and walk out in public just wearing a bra. There's a certain way to do it. Or else, some people may think you're a hooker. Which, when I started growing tits, because I was so happy, yeah, I actually had someone, think I was a hooker because I was wearing a bra around. But I wasn't at that time in my life. But, like, I'm quite happy growing tits with HRT, even though it's like not very big. Some people, you'll notice you'll get bigger tits than some. Like, mine have only gone A cup and like fluctuate a bit, like between like really small and like, perky A cup. Um, because you develop I think it's called the areolas with HRT, and then your tits. Well, your tits, they are a combination of the areolas and like fat distribution. So I guess we've talked about the tits enough. As much as I love having tits, another thing I love about my body now, the fat redistribution. So, when you on, estrogen, it will change how your fat works in your body and how your muscles are as well. Like, you know, when you have testosterone going through your body, you're a bit more musclier than, having fat. And yeah, like the T blockers, they'll make your fucking, like, all your fat just, I mean, all your fat will change, but I mean, all your muscles, like, you'll lose a lot of muscle mass. And your fat will start to change around. Like, you'll start to get, like, wider hips. And if you're young enough, you'll start to get wider hip bones. We'll talk about the, bone structure shit soon. Which, yeah. Like, with me, like, I got wider fucking hips, more fat on my hips, wider hip bones as well, because I started at 19. And then, where else did my fat change and muscles change? The fat and muscles change a lot in the face. A lot. Like, they can make your face look way feminine, mate. Like, so good. You'll start to notice, I think, if, like, I never actually really put on weight, like, as a bloke. Well, by that I mean, like, I never put on weight when I had tea in my body. Really. I think there was a point where I put on a bit of weight. May have been. But, like, I think with tea, if you put on weight, it goes to your belly. But, like, with estrogen, it'll go to your hips and your tits. So, like, if you wanna like, get nice hips and tits, just eat and be like, ooh, yum yum. Like, I'm a hot bitch. Yeah. And also, like, it's quite fucking amazing having hips and, I mean, tits and ass. Quite fucking amazing. Like, I love it. And then also, as I said, we're going to talk about bone structure now. If you're young enough, yeah, your bone structure will change. Depending, like, how early you started. Like, me starting at 19, I noticed that my hip bones widened a bit. I also noticed, there were points where, like, I had difficulty walking. So, like, that could have been, like, maybe bone structure changes, or it could have been, like, fat distribution and muscle distribution changes. Like, I'm unsure which one it is. Maybe it was both. So yeah. Then what else did I notice? Oh, yeah. Talking about bone structure, one side of my jawline now is like this, bone wise, and the other side's like this. So one side's feminine, one side's masculine. And starting at 19, like, like hip bone changes, that's a hit or a miss. Pelvic changes, that's a hit or a miss. But face changes, like, mate, I thought the face fused way earlier than that, mate. But my jaw, yeah, one side's a bit different than the other side now. And I'm like, wow. But yeah, there's that. But like, you can always get facial feminization surgery if you want to change your face. What else is there that I've noticed has changed? I've also noticed, like, when I first took T blockers, my mind felt more free. My mind felt much more free with T blockers. So, like, the mind feels stuck with testosterone for me, I felt. When I first took T blockers, I felt my mind was free. Yeah. And then also, I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Trying to think. Oh, yeah. Like, fat distribution wise, your face changes as well. All that. You get curvy hips. You get thick thighs. You grow tits. That sort of thing. I may or may have not gone down a shoe size. Because I think I may have been size 10 in the past. But now I'm like size 9. So maybe, I'm not sure if I was size 10 or whatnot. I think I may have been. Yeah. Like, most of these changes, like, I've really noticed in the first 2 years. Oh, yeah. We need to speak about, like, cream coming out of the body, yeah? So, we ain't just talking about dick cream. So, like, with T blockers, cum production stops. Like, you stop coming. Like, you may come once in a while, but it will only be pre-cum. And then also tits can start lactating as they start growing, all that. And also dick, for me, I can still get hard. But I've also read, like, the others don't still get hard. And it also shrinks too. But I think that's, like, all I can think of off the top of my head right now. But hey, if there's anything I missed, like, I may make a future follow-up video. And if any more changes happen, I'll make, a video like maybe 3-year, 4-year mark sort of thing. But hey, just fucking everyone, like, be posting more trans related videos on this channel. So, like, go fucking subscribe, yeah. Like, but anyway, bye bitches, bye.